Alright guys, Fulo coming to you with another video. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you guys are living your best life. I hope you guys are rolling through the punches right now. All I gotta say is that, it's the holidays and people are, it doesn't feel like the holidays here, to be honest. And I think the reason why it doesn't feel like it is because of the circumstances we find ourselves in with the whole COVID and what have you. So that's why it doesn't feel that way. But anyhow, I hope y'all are doing well again. So what I decided to do, is another hip hop review, man. It seems like the All Money In team, man, are going hard, running the marathon, man, as they should, and that's a very, very good thing. Now we just had Crack Babies 3, and now we have J Stone, Definition of Pain. So with that being said, we have two projects that came out within the same time of one another, and they're very strong projects. I'm not going to lie to you. The Definition of Pain, I will say, is J Stone's most personal project yet. Definition of Loyalty kind of tapped into the personal side of J Stone, but we get to know more about him with this project, basically. And all I gotta say is that even the intro and even the voices and things like that really give this album what do they call it? An ambience that really cannot be denied. The thing is that, with J Stone and with the All Money In team, you're not necessarily going to get the, how should I put it? What you're used to hearing right now. You're not going to get that with them, and the reason being that they are from a different era. They were brought up in the 90s hip-hop era, you know what I mean? And you hear that throughout their records, that 90s influence, right? So when you hear it, for someone who, me, although I'm young and what have you, I like old school hip-hop. I like old school music, you know what I mean? Like, for example, you can catch me bumping some old calypso music. I like that sound. You can hear me bumping some old soul music. That's just my thing. So with that being said, this is what you kind of get with the All Money In team. You're not going to really hear that bouncy sound that you're used to hearing with, the current rappers today. In fact, I will say with J Stone's beat selection is quite minimalist, you know what I mean? And, the reason why that is because, say if it was a really bouncy beat, say if it was a really high energy beat, right? Like with a lot of bass and things like that we're used to hearing in today's hip hop, then it will kind of take away from what he has to say, you know what I mean? And so I think that's the reason why he kept them minimalist. As far as guest features on the album, I will say that, he has quite again, it goes towards the old school feeling of the album. He even decided, and maybe this contact happened through Nip, I don't know, but he even decided to get Young Guru, who was an engineer, or I should say engineer, for Rockefeller Records, to engineer the project, to be the chairman of the boards, in essence, And so the fact that he got Young Guru shows that where he was going, shows what was his aim in the album, and again, it's an old school feel album. So one thing we have to say is that with the guest features, even, again, he got T.I. on the album, he got Trey the Truth on the album, he got, I think, some of his own artists on the album as well. I think he's bringing up some artists too. He has T-Pain, the original auto-tune guy on the album, right? Imagine that. So you can hear what his aim was. The fact that he remade a Beanie Siegel song into his and put his own twist on it is very, very telling. He did the Feeling in the Air, I Can Feel It in the Air song, you know what I mean? The Beanie Siegel song. And he added his own little thing, but you can hear that he used that beat to make the song. So that was very, very telling in what era he's brought up on again, So one thing about the song is that about the album is it's track heavy. There's a lot of tracks. I think this thing is like damn near 17 tracks. I believe maybe 18 tracks. So there's a lot of tracks on the album. You know what I mean? It's not, just a mixtape. This is a album, okay? And again, they're doing this under the banner of All Money In through the backbone of their own. These artists, the thing is with Nip, Nip, he signed a partnership with Atlantic himself, you know what I mean? But the other All Money In artists, they didn't sign a distribution deal with Atlantic. So they're doing this on the strength of All Money In alone. Now, what can be said, however, though, and maybe this will occur, is that maybe perhaps that, due to their pedigree and due to the merits of it, maybe further along, projects will get distribution through a major label. Who knows? We can only time will tell. But it looks like that it will be occurring pretty soon due to the simple fact that, Jay Stone, this album went to the Apple Music #2 within a couple of minutes. So that's just a telling sign that, there's only good things that can happen from there, right? So with this being said, this is a great thing. Now, the tracks that stick out, of course, are County Jail. That's a good track. It's very hard telling. I mean, even the intro sticks out due to the simple fact that with the intro, he goes into kind of like an autobiography, man. So it's kind of heavy, man. I'm not gonna even much lie to you. It's a very heavy intro, man. There's some things that you didn't know that you will now know about him. And I was just surprised. I'm like, wow, man, this is heavy stuff, man. So, that's one thing about the album, that I can say. I mean, the tracks with Nip, you can tell that they were kind of like older tracks, but I think the reason why he put them on there is just out of respect for, the late great Hustle. And the thing is, man, it was kind of hard for me. I'm not gonna even much lie to you. When I heard the tracks, it man, I was almost gonna tear up, man, when I heard Nip on the tracks. Although I listened to Nip, on a daily basis, it's damn, man. It's damn, this shit ain't right, man. For real, I still be thinking about that shit, man. I really be thinking about that shit, man. I mean, I guess the only downside to the album, I think the only downside to the album is probably I want to say I guess it's track heavy. I guess with all the tracks, he was more looking to release a lot of tracks rather than maybe putting some time in to maybe make the album like a bigger production, maybe use live instrumentation and things of that nature, like aka Victory Lap. But other than that, it's a solid album. It's a heartfelt album. It's an album that you should definitely tap into. And one thing is, you get to hear more about Jay Stone more, because he really doesn't have anybody from AMI on there. So I recommend it. If I were to give it out of 4 stars, I give it 3.5 stars. It's a very solid album. I would say it's his most personable album yet. So tap in. It's on all the platforms. And with that being said, this is Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me know what y'all favorite tracks are and what y'all think of it. Enjoy on.